learn how I made this adorable bath sign using some bar swag and a few items I had around the house. Hey everybody! I know a lot of people work in the restaurant industry, and sometimes they get some items that they can use in the restaurant. Sometimes they use them, sometimes they don't. But I was given by somebody that works in the industry a couple of these, I guess they are supposed to be servers for bullet shots, and they asked me if I could do anything with these, and I said, yeah, absolutely. Let me see what I can do. So I have two of these, so I'll have another one come up in another video. I do have an idea for the second one. For this one, I'm just going to make a cute little sign for the bathroom. And I'm going to use the back of this for this project. So for this, of course, I'm just using this piece of wood that I got. I think it has a neat texture to it, neat shape, and it's just about the right size. But you can use any piece of wood or anything that you can reclaim and use your imagination on. The sky's the limit. All you got to do is think outside the box a little bit. Now, I think it would be cute to be hanging on the twine like it is, but I do want to get rid of the bullet insignia, so I'm just going to untie this and put the twine aside. All right, and the bathroom I'm putting it in has kind of a shabby chic decoration, and all of the wood in there is whitewashed, so I'm just going to go ahead and whitewash this wood as well. All right, so here I just have some white paint, and I'm mixing some water into it to dilute it down, because I want this to be really thin to achieve the whitewash effect. All right, and as you can see now, it's really thin, and that's what I want. So I'm just going to set this aside. And taking a wet brush, I'm just going to take some of the paint and start putting it onto my board. Okay, now that I have that on, I'm just going to wipe off the excess wet paint. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the sides. And then I'm going to do one more quick coat to the front just to kind of even it out a little bit. All right, there we go. Now we have our board all whitewashed. I'm just going to set that to let it dry for a little bit. While the whitewash board is drying, I'm going to take these letters that spell bath that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and I am going to go ahead and paint them with this coral color. Part of the reason that I'm using coral is it blends in very nicely in the bathroom, and the other reason is coral is the color of 2019 according to Pantone. So I'm going to be putting a little bit of coral into some of the projects coming up. Alright, and since I think this is a new bottle, it's really full, I am just going to use the brush directly out of the bottle. I've given my letters 2 coats of the coral paint, and now that those are dry, I'm going to go ahead and take this piece of burlap that I did pick up at the Dollar Tree, and it does come on a roll like this, and you can pick it up in the floral department. And I am going to go ahead and coat this with Mod Podge to stiffen it. Now that my piece of burlap is dry, I'm going to lay it over the wood, and I am going to kind of and I think I'm going to cut it off right about here because I want to have just a little bit of the wood showing. You can see just how stiff that burlap actually is now. It's great. And go ahead and try to get this piece on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little more Mod Podge to hold this onto the board. And again, this dries completely clear, so you don't have to worry about it showing through the burlap. I'm just going to put it basically in the middle of the board. I don't have to worry about the burlap adhering completely edge to edge. Since it is stiff now, I don't have to worry about it fraying. All right, and I think down here I'm just going to trim this a little bit so it's more even. There we go. Just play with it a little bit. Get it even on the board. Okay, now that will dry pretty quickly. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and place our letters so we can get them centered onto the burlap. All right, and that looks pretty good. And I'm going to use just a couple dabs of hot glue on each letter. To get them placed onto the burlap. I'm going to hold down the H because it was just a little bit warped. All right, there we go. So now we have the basic sign made. The next thing I'm going to do is take some of these crackled beads that I have, and I'm just going to string them on some twine. Just to add a little bit of color and a little bit more interest to the top. And then I am going to wrap the burlap around this indented area up here. And to sharpen the burlap, I'm just going to dip it into my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to twist it around to a point. Okay. And then we're going to give that just a second to dry. All right, and now I'm just going to pick some of the beads and just thread them onto the burlap. And I'm only going to use 3 or 4 beads. I don't want to use too many. I don't want to overdo it. Maybe 5. And starting at the back, I'm just going to use some hot glue to attach the twine to the back of the board. Let that dry for just a moment. I'm going to bring that around to the front with just a couple of the beads. Wrap it around the back. Okay, drop off another bead, maybe another 2, and come back around a 3rd time. And bring up the last bead, just so that they're on different pieces of twine. We're going to kind of intertwine these this way as well. If I can, make it work so it looks good. There we go. Just bring one more bead around the top. So you see it's a very free form look I'm going for here. And then I'm going to come around the back, and I'm just going to add another dot of hot glue just to hold this piece of twine in place as well. All right, and then I'm going to pull this larger piece of twine over with that had the bullet label on it. I'm going to discard the bullet label. I'm going to go ahead and thread this back through. And then just simply retie it at the top. The very last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add just one more layer of texture, and it is going to be this lace ribbon that I did pick up at Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to wrap it around the very bottom, and I'm also going to wrap it up here at the top of the bath sign. And I'm just going to hold this on with a little bit of hot glue. Now here's our finished little bath sign. Isn't it just adorable? I love the different textures that are on it. I also think I really like the coral. It'll go good with some of the turquoise accents that I have in the bathroom, as well as some of the other colors. Being shabby chic, I think it works especially well with these little crackled beads that I put on here. I can't wait to see how it looks in the bathroom. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
If you liked this video, please be sure to hit the like button as well as share it with friends who may also enjoy it. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button, and when the notification bell pops up, be sure you hit that as well so you never miss a video. And, as always, have a great day and stay crafty.